Much love and appreciation to those of you who have been with me for the 2 year period plus that I've been doing this. Thank you for showing your love and support to the channel. And to anybody else who is brand new to the platform and you would like to support the channel, also, you can do it by way of Patreon, Anchor, the clothing store, and also the shoe shop that is listed in the comment description below. And again, thank you to any and all of you guys who have been here to support this channel during the 2+ year period. I wouldn't be able to do what I do every single day without you. Brandon Keith Ned, age 42, has been the man that's been identified that fired shots outside of a Texas Children's Day camp. A G-man opened fire inside of a building where more than 250 kids and staff were starting a day of summer camp on Monday, setting off a panic that ended with gunfire with police in Duncanville, Texas. Officers harmed the attacker, who was later declared dead at a local hospital. Authorities have credited the fast response by camp staff and police with preventing injuries to anyone else. The assault in the Dallas suburb initially triggered fears of a new tragedy. The incident started at around 8:43 a.m. local time when police received a call of an armed man and shots fired at a Duncanville field house, a massive sports complex that regularly contains hundreds of campers and staff during summer camp session. The first officer arrived 2 minutes after police were alerted to the G-man, and Duncanville Assistant Police Chief Matthew Stogner stated, quote, "They did exactly how they were trained to do, which is to go in and stop the threat." After shots rang out inside of the field house, some children hid and texted their parents, scared for their lives. At this time, the venue was hosting kids ranging from ages 4 to 14 years of age. Laying out Monday's sequence of events, Stogner stated that it began with a man walking into the field house front door holding a weapon. He spoke briefly with a staff member there, then fired a shot, which was heard by others in the building. The G-man walked down the hallway to the classroom, but he found the door was locked. He then fired one shot into the room. From there, the G-man walked into a gymnasium where other kids were present. He didn't immediately open fire, and counselors worked to get the children out of the area. Officials caught up with the G-man in the gymnasium and confronted him, sparking an exchange and fire. He declined to discuss a motive or to identify the G-man on Monday, citing that the ongoing investigation. The case is being handled by the Texas Department of Public Safety. The field house has been hosting its second week of summer day camp because of the activity inquiry at the scene of the incident. The kids enrolled there will be offered spots in other camps this week.
Relief and disbelief.
It's just unfortunate. This is the world we're in.
Another shooting in another place. Kids are supposed to have fun.
And we can't send our kids to camp. We can't. They're not safe at school. They're not safe anywhere.
Summer camps at the Duncanville Fieldhouse were just beginning when chaos unfolded.
We was thinking it was a drill or something, and our director pushed us into the corner. And as soon as she got the door shut, we heard at least 7 to 8 rounds going off.
After police confronted and shot a gunman inside, children were bused to the nearby rec center as parents waited anxiously to hug them. The Rogers family paused to pray. 18-year-old Naomi was helping out with the youngest campers, ages 4 to 6.
The shooter actually came to our door, and he said that if we didn't let him see who he wanted to see, that he was going to shoot the place up. And he shot at the glass door, and the glass started to fall. And I just started to pray then, because that's all I could do. That's all I thought about.
She and others tried to focus on keeping the little ones calm.
There were a good 6 other adults, 7 maybe. We held it up. We did what we had to do, and a lot of them were willing to give up their lives for these kids, and I'm glad I know that.
It just should not be something that is so matter of fact and normal. This is not normal. It's just not.
Not normal, but now all too common, as more parents are left wondering how to make their children feel safe again.
That's the challenge. That's what we're getting ready to go do now. We'll talk to our kids and explain to them that this is this is the day we live in, and make sure that, you know, this traumatic experience, that they're okay. That's the most important thing, that they're safe.
We heard shooting, and then we got scared, and everybody started crying.
This morning, another Texas town reeling after a gunman opened fire at this summer camp program.
My immediate emotion was to panic.
Children from 4 to 14 were inside the Duncanville field house when police say a man armed with a handgun burst in and began firing.
What we know is the suspect entered through the main lobby doors with a handgun. That was the initial gunfire, the initial shot that the people inside the location heard.
Camp counselors trained for these scenarios, acting quickly, rushing kids to classrooms and locking the doors.
I was praying to God just so nothing will happen, so nothing bad won't happen.
There were no officers at the facility when the shots rang out, but police arrived 2 minutes after receiving calls, shooting and killing the suspect within minutes.
There was no hesitation whatsoever. As we're thankful for their training, that they do exactly what they're trained to do.
Right now, police are unaware of a motive. It's also unclear if the gunman was targeting someone inside this building. But TJ, officials this morning say quick actions save lives.
This is my thing here. I would have actually liked to hear a motive at this moment in time, because this is where I'm at this moment in time. It is a tragic incident. Incidences like this should never happen. But this is where I start to have a problem, right? Where it becomes a little bit
suspicious. You don't find that suspicious?
And for me, I do. I find it very suspicious due to the fact that it seems that after the Tops incident took place, right, and it took place in a black area, that after that took place, then you had another one that took place, right, in UVLAD, right? But the difference is the guy on Tops, he was arrested without incident. Nothing took place. He's going to be able to tell what his motive was, and they're going to write a book and do a movie and all that other good stuff, right? But in UVLAD, nothing of that same thing, in a sense, happened, right? They quote unquote had a manifesto, or they had these other things that were supposedly stated by other people, but nothing from the actual person who did it and why it is that he did what it is that he did, right? And then, oddly enough, you have the other one that happened in Toulouse, where a black guy just randomly, like, yeah, I'm about to go up into this hospital and do, you know, XYZ for whatever, right? And then we don't really know a motive specifically from him. Now, police might be able to say something, other people might be able to say something, but we don't have anything from that actual person either, right? So you got UVLAD, right? Then you got Toulouse, right? And now we have this one here going right back to Texas at a camp. And we don't know a motive for this. So it's amazing how the Caucasian individual, the G-Man, he was completely fine and dandy. Everybody else is out of here. I'm like, oh, that's what we're doing. And then on top of that, right? Because they're going to go with the media's going to go with the narrative is that it's not only one demographic that's doing this. It's people from varying demographics that are doing this. It's not just one group, right? That's what they're going to, you know, basically try to do. But if we look at the overwhelming history of these types of incidences, it is them, right? And then on top of that, the media is now trying to portray every single thing that happens in the black community as a mass incident. That mass, it was never any type of language that they ever used whenever these things happened. Never. They usually said it was drug related, gang related, domestic, or a incident happened at a birthday party, at a graduation party, at a social gathering. That's usually how they'll sit up there and put it. Never in the history of the United States have they sat up there and listed that, oh, for example, all the incidences that take place in Chicago, those are mass incidences. Never. They've never done that. Never. Like I said before, they're doing this for a very specific reason, because what was showcased at Tops was the main thing that people, that black people have talked about for oh so long. But because that was able to get highlighted, right, now something else has to sit up there and take place in order to look at a whole different scenario in order to look at it a whole different way. Like I said, for me, I'm just questioning the frequency and how it is that magically we got 2 black guys that did something. Right? I'm not saying that it can't happen. I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm just saying that it is highly coincidental that at the point in time after we had something take place in the black community by somebody who was not black, magically you got more of these incidences that took place. And then on top of that, out of the 4 main incidences that I've talked about here, right? Tops in New York, you Vlad, Toulouse, and this one here in Texas. Out of the 4 of those individuals, 1 survived. Out of the 4 of those individuals, 1 survived that was unharmed, that is able to tell his tale, that is going to have a long stint in prison. People are going to write books. Psychologists are going to sit up there and see him. He's going to have fanatics, sitting up there writing him and all these other types of things. There's going to be memes and other people going to Halloween parties trying to dress up as the guy from Tops, right? Like I said before, it's very interesting how a lot of these things are happening and how a lot of this stuff is playing out, and how the media is going to decide to spin this from it's not one demographic that commits mass incidences, but it is a multitude of ethnicities that do this and not just one. So basically saying it's not just one group, we're all affected by this. Right? It's not just us that needs to fix this. We all need to fix this, right? That's how they're going to basically blanket the situation and deflect away from what basically took place. And like I said, it's just 100% crazy. It's 100% crazy. But like I said before, for a lot of the incidences that took place, I would have liked to have heard an actual motive to why it is that they did what they did. Like I said, I'm not trying to give a justification or anything like that. I would just actually like to sit up there and hear it, because one of their own, he can clearly testify and say what it is that he wants to sit up there and say. He can decide to dress up like a clown or make up whatever it is. But at the end of the day, he can still do it. And, the people that were harmed, the families, they're able to, in a sense, speak their piece, right, directly to that person. And and a variety of other things like that. Like I said, for me, I just find it a bit odd, how a lot of this is playing out. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I listed in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.